Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Amanda Iglesias, and I am the Food Access Coordinator at nofamass. Today, you'll be attending The Care of Bees, Ethics, Aesthetics, and a Good Life. I'd like to present Yorlis Gabriela Luna Delgado. She's a Nicaraguan, Afro-Mesoamerican, and campesina of the working class. Her father is a campesino expelled from the countryside, and her mother is an elementary school teacher. She grew up on the outskirts of Managua and began working for her community at the age of 14 in literacy and environmental groups. With her background in public education and research, she has worked on agroecological transition processes on farms and in her community. She is part of the training teams of the Nicaraguan Fieldworkers Association and the Nicaraguan Network of Meloponiculture. She believes that healing from the trauma of capitalist patriarchy is a collective process with hands in the earth and with all the networks of life, especially with daily work with and for bees. This conference is presented on land that has been stewarded by Indigenous people since before European colonization. As we work to heal the destruction caused by colonization, we appreciate your support, solidarity, and continued learning. Today, I am calling in from the Nipmuc, Pecumtuck, and Nonotuck lands. I invite you to also share where you are dialing in from. And if you need some help figuring that out, we'll share a link for nativeland.ca for you to determine to find that information. With Buen Vivir as our theme this year, we aim to bring to light the ancestral wisdoms of Indigenous peoples of the Global South, including the Aymara, Quechua, and Mapuche people. We celebrate that restorative agriculture is rooted in longstanding cultural practices of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. In an agricultural system built on stolen land and the forced labor and exploitation of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, our conference aims to center equity in our food system. Here are some ways that you can center racial equity in your communities. What are some groups in your area? Feel free to share those with others in the chat. We also want to share a big thanks to our partner level sponsors who made this conference possible to share all this incredible knowledge with our community. These are some more of those folks. We encourage you to purchase from them, and when you do, please let them know how much you appreciate their support of nofamass. All right. Two more things. One, please bring a soil sample from your home or farm and visit the soil health table on Saturday in person. nofamass staff will be available to offer technical assistance and recommendations. And lastly, we've got some incredible items to bid on in our online auction. We encourage you to visit the link to the auction to see the lineup and bid. At this point, I'd love to turn it over to Yorlis.
Welcome, Yorlis. You can present. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, for being here, this beautiful space. And thank you for having this space with language justice. Before we start, I want to all of you know that I'm a little bit nervous. It's raining in here, but I wanted to show you a little bit the rain, how it looks here. You could see. But I feel that this is a good omen, you know. Please, I ask you all to stand up. We're gonna stand up. And I want to start with a reflection, a small reflection. I want to put your feet down, open your hands up, and breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Feel your body. Feel your body being present. And feel the blood just flowing into your body, going through your lungs. Feel the air filling you up. And take this minute, a silent minute, and just imagine that a bee that is flying, you know, you know, and just think about the colors, red, yellow, everything. See everything in a different color. Think about the pollen, a pollen of many different colors, orange, red. We have pollen that look like a piece of like piece of the star in the universe, and we're flying, and now we're tired of flying. And now you're connected with everything that there is, all the nutrients that come with Mother Earth, breathe in, breathe out, breathe again, and breathe out. And feel your hands, feel your wings, your bee wings. And you're looking for food, for all of the uh, space that you can see, and observe everything, the garden. Look at the garden, look at the trees, you know. If you are in if you are in this session, it's because you are a bee person, you know? And then you continue flying, and you agitate your wings a little bit more, and you turn around, turn around, because you have to you have to tell the other bees that you're here, and you move to the side, because you have to tell the other bees where that pollen, where that nutrition is. And we found a pollen, we found a flower, and we're gonna just go deep in into that flower, and we're gonna work. And when we fill all that resin in, you start taking it, feel that pollen on your feet, you know and then in order to fly again, to fly good, you kind of clean up a little bit, you wash yourself a little bit, you breathe in. As a big person that we are filled of love, and you love yourself. And then we're gonna make our own home, be home. And now we open up our arms. This little training, this little space that we have here, this is gonna be our home, our be home. And we have pollen of full of emotions, of feelings, and and yes, with sadness of things that. And as be people that we are, let's breathe in, let's open up our eyes, and we're gonna tell ourselves within our hearts, we're gonna say, thank you, I love myself, I love you, because bees are just pure love. It doesn't matter the rain, anything, they work. They work. So now we can start. And since the education, popular education, nobody knows everything. We all learn from each other. We need to know who we are, why we're here, and since we are a beehive, we need to be together. We need to communicate. I'm gonna ask. So we are 17. I'm gonna ask you all if you could please open up your camera, your video, and so we could see each other, and if you could say your name and what type of pollen are you bringing here. For instance, I bring love. I bring love, and I wanna take hope with me. And I think we can do this. We're only 16. So open up your video and your microphone, and you say that your name, what type of pollen you bring, and what you choose to take with you. So the first thing that the bees do, so they can work themselves, to work properly, they communicate. So that way they protect each other from their enemies. Uh, so they communicate, and the pheromones, they said, oh, you are from that beehive, okay, so tell me how we went, tell me how we go. So they talk. So that's why I'm asking you all to do this. Or if you want to put it in the chat as well, you're welcome. Here we had Brooke brings hope. She brings hope, and Scott says that he brings hope and knowledge. Um, Amanda brings open-minded and wonder. Liz is bringing learning. Who else? Annabelle brings spirituality with God, love. Respect and the Saguanjoche flower. And we are bringing a lot of pollen of love, respect, and knowledge. And that's great, because those are the values and qualities that a beehive has. So now we are going to share a little bit in groups. Uh, we're going to share this question. What can we do? What can we learn from the bees? How do the bees teach you? How can we learn from them? You know, the bees are one of the living um, selves more important in the world. And it's really difficult what is going to happen with the pollination. So before we go in groups, bef- before we go in groups, please let's take a few seconds and just let me tell you how many bees they die daily because of tiredness, because they just can't get food. They get confused. They get confused with their food, with their food source, with the pollen. When they get to the flowers, it's full of pesticide, and that death is a terrible, it's a terrible death. And let's take a moment to a minute of silence, to just to think about all those bees that all over the world, they're dying, they're going through this. We're gonna break apart in partner up, and we're gonna think about it. How what do we learn from the bees? What can they teach us? And then you're gonna go for a few minutes, and then automatically it will close. And then we're gonna come back here in the group, in the main group. And then and then the person that reports back is going to report about what they talk about, what they learn. And because this has this is a good exercise because it shows throughout the training how the methodology of the importance of the bees, that it shows that we are all passive receptors of information, that we all participate, are active, and we all experiment and experience what's going on. And this is a way for us to know that we need to con that we need to build among each other. And that's why we always start with the group in partnering up. uh, but if not, we can start. Then I'm gonna start, if just asking if two participants here, if you could briefly tell me what can we learn from the bees. If you could, it could be Erika, anybody, please tell me what can we learn from the bees. Two people. Najeli. Najeli says that I think that the bees, we learn from the bees about being patient and the connection with nature. Somebody else that would like to share something? It, here, all the experience that are here are necessaries. So we could share. Erika says about how we can work together. And then Finca Luna, it says that especially we could learn about working together and working community. Uh, another person says to relax, and and this is good. I'm gonna share my presentation.
It seems like I can't share my screen.
Un minuto, perdóname.
Just give me 1 second, please. 1 minute.
Yorlis, a ver si tiene ahora la habilidad.
Yorlis, please check in your end if you can share your screen. Can everyone see my screen? Yes. So I can share something about how to be care in ethics, aesthetics, and a good living. How can we change as also as the class workers. Why do we talk about different ethics, aesthetics? So we can see through the bees. Well, we do have a different types of bees. That differs from the bees in America Latina. For most of our whole planets. For most of the aspects, they're solitary. But also we do have a bees that they call the tropicals. So we do have farms, it's central in our whole planet. These bees that they born in the Amazon, they're special bees. That goes to Mesoamerica and Central Americans for thousands of years. Well, at the time of the colonization arrived, when all the indigenous people with the bees, they were just special secrets. The special difference was there are bees that they're not appreciated. So in Central America, it has been one of the practice millenarians. It's more than 5,000 years with the practice of with the bees, where people they have right in their doors with indigenous names. How can we care the bees? This is our focus about the bees, because the bees there are the most important for the bees' health is the most important, because we do have different types of network and native bees breeders, omnicultures. This is a space that is among people. We're dedicated to take care of the bees. So how can we survive our culture? Just to talk a little bit more about the culture and ecological diversity, independent and culture. How can we comprehend the perspective on the territories, continue with the nature and the human being, for every single thing that we do have? It's just a product from our interaction with our culture, our social organization, and the nature. We do have more than 50% that it's no for the reservation. So it meets the geographic with the culture diversity. And the biological, we do have more ways to interact, to delegate. So the human destroys our planet, but at the same time, we can construct our planet. only if you do have a garden with a beehive, we create a lot of ecology. So it over this time with the nature. So we are learning, we are getting the seeds, even though the Amazons, the mountains, the forest, it's not a gift. It's the fruit of our planet. Let's say like the corn in Mexico, in Central America, it was like a certain food. But in this, we do have a big diversity of bee. It's been associated with the spirituality, and it was a gift. The bee was a gift for the Mayans. It was a gift from for all our indigenous people, so we shouldn't be surprised but about the genocide. But in our culture, there is a big diversity of bee, so they have been here-ish, they have been respectful. So this is we depended about. It's just part of it of this network. What is the context that surround us on our land? This is the construction of the nature. This is the basic from the colonization of the system that divides the world with the big genocide of our indigenous people. Why? Because the capital with the system of capitalism. So we convert all the territory. Let's say like now the forest, now they convert it into wood. They take all the small pieces, they convert as a merchandise, like the water, the wind. We don't have an ecosystem, a clean ecosystem with the planet. What is behind this? The capitalism that is a superior and inferior. What does this fundamental, what is the world's vision? So that connects with some of their superiors and some of the inferiors, with the human being in the nature on the field, the woman, the man to the woman, white and other skin of color, north to south, etc. It's just to justify that philosophy about this world that is based with this majority on human being that we're part of this network. That from that work, or that work from the network of life, with that network of the colonization with the human beings work. So this turns into an object. So we continue moving with the nature, with our way of life through that culture. When it comes our dream to be valued, we have to be civilized. That start to transform our good habits. like how the way that we say here, Central America or South America, like American, that being transforming. That system that we have to get up daily, and we have to do something. Why? Because we do have the need, because of the system, our need, our reality, how to act, how to think. So how can we continue to think about that civilization, like multi-civilization? Many territories in our country and today's, and where did this came from? It came from the slave. That was the first message in Central America, because of the system. It has been looking for that accumulation and among this on this planet. So if we accumulated this over and over, and then it becomes to be a merchandise. So if this is the most value for our existence, and they have turned into merchandise without aesthetics, ethics. If we start talking about how being losing our culture, our bees, our environment, this is the most of suffering about this exchange. Where is the vision? We have to have that vision. Chronology of colonization of development. Well, or I would say like we were barbers versus civilized, like Afro American and Americans. And it was like a lot of teeth. The justification about this, it was a virus. So this get transformed through those people that they were way behind, where they were transformer, and now it was transferred to the bulb people. So they've been saying that we have to develop, but we came into the same liar. It's just a lie. It has been a lie, always, that we have to have that way to live. That means that is very centered on its own ego. It's a lie. It's the same colonization with the body and our conscience. So the good living or the good life is the same. The poverty, we should just see all the richness inside of us and just look at our way, how we are living. We have to respect from the plants, from the trees. We have to respect all that. We are part of our network, our superiors. Now with colonization, not just the bees, the crisis of ecologies, politics, ethics, aesthetics, it's all together. It's all with our culture, with the living. Like the system that they show into these big companies in this world, it's the same as that they show in us with aesthetic, our health. It's all come on this world system. it's a multiple with the results that we have the big collapse of colonization, where you can see all the view of the which that we do have. So where we have a culture, a global culture, and it has become to the worst crisis on earth. How do we construct this? How do we live? How we create? How we do feel? How we do habitat in this earth, in this space that we are living? What we can do with this crisis of the habitat, we have to create a different model with the different models and with our job. How can we depend from the bees, from our work, with our work, how to habitat, how to work, how to live, family, to have that. Another way to live, just try to avoid the capitalism, even if you are conscious or no. We are getting injected with that capitalism. We have to inspire that. We have to be different. What is the alternatives to create other ways of living, building knowledge and consciousness? I call this is the hope. The hope we have to learn from the bees to overcome pessimism and hopelessness and negative. With the natures, we are just one continue. How we can recognize change, how spiritual recognize that we have a system that comes in our soul. We should recognize that we are connected with the ground, with the network, that we can feel it. We can understand that resistance that is not you collectively with other people, also in the network. If the system is, we should think and dream and construct it. If we think about the superiors and the inferiors, the smallest to the biggest, it's about that what we consume for our body. Like I was saying before, it's the work, that connection, the fun for our spirit, for our body, and collectively producing, using body and living in the territory. So we should share the way of living. We should just recognize, we have to recuperate that culture from our ancestor. With our feet on the ground. In that way, maybe we can cover that weight of living, and we should share that. Observing and feeling the bees in another human, non-human spirituality. It is not virtual realms and orchestra. That construction between the human and not human. The bees, they're not a kingdom. Let's say like the queen. When the queen is not capable to do its work, so the language form, it comes from abroad, so we have to transform, but it will have been a different. So we have a kingdom. So the hive is not a kingdom. It's the Western queen, the mother. The queen is the mother. I wouldn't say they're not a worker. I would say that they learn the rules. And then they are getting, they're capable, and they get in that knowledge or that capability from other bees. So that they do take care, the ones that do take care of the hives, they take care, they surround. So we do have a lot of people with no roof, no food. Can you imagine how could be our space where we live in our society if we do have this belief? What is that? The pedagogy. So how they start working, they do help each other. They do help the babies to born during the whole life for 30. They do a different type of works, different work. It's aimed at then it comes from different roles from the guardian, reflective, and at the end it explores. So if you do have bees, if you have work close to the bees, what I am seeing it's true. Could be rain, could be storm. The bees, they always go to work. It's a hope. They have that intuition with the movement. They always been moving inside the hive or outside the hive. And humans should be spirituality. So they do share their experience all the time. Let's say like the bees colonies, the male colonies, the mother, they try to protect the little ones until they are ready for a new space. I've said that they do work for one organized, even though if they have like 150 years or whatever, let's say like on with the bees, it doesn't matter. There are many of them that it's just a special social way to live. They do have the center of their life. So they have that continue of their life. Let's say that in Mexico and Central America, many collective with their culture, their culture. So they have this behave like they try to protect themselves when you try to work with them. Where they find it, they're looking for a road. They're trying to look for a road for their moment. So they try to recover. Like this is what should we do? We should just try to recover that ground. We have some videos in YouTube for what we do right here in Nicaragua. That exchange that we do have with the geology, like we talk, we exchange our experience. So we shouldn't make the same mistake in all the videos. So we can exchange. Well, this is going to happen right here on the south. Now we do have a different workshop. As you can see right here with the real bee. This is the exchange that we do, that we are connected to the bees, are held with the hive. It's like thermometer, like how is the culture place? How is our relationship with the nature? How is the human's relationship with the nature, or us, how we have that connect with the hive, how we have that connect with the ground. So this is how we exchange, let's say, like the bees that are in the middle center. That's where we see the medicines, food. We can see the community when they gather together. Let's say, like, this is how we see the hive. This is how it is. How so we do have some poems that we have acknowledged with this pedagogy, the reflection, the communication, the how we do it in a way organized, how we accumulate it, the way how we work with the bees. And the other thing that I do bring, one more thing, like a cue, the history of the bees over there, they're stronger. Let's say the hives in Cuba, they're not native there. But when they used to take slaves from Yucatan or from the Alabama, so they were trying to escape from our ancestor or our ancestor. This type of bee, there was a symbol of protection, and for the fox, if they will see this, they knew it's something bad was going to happen. It's just a theory. Today, it's that big culture with the society that you can see the Cuban agriculture. They have retaken this part of like the be resistant, part of resistant to the imperialism. And the growing of the bee has grown, and it is strong. So we can see that collective reception with this type of bees. This is said, and thank you very much that you let me share my presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Paola, and all of you for being here, for giving me this space. If you try to put this into work, even if you live in a building, if you don't have space, you could start doing it, like put it in a little yard with some little wood or trees, and do it like that. And also, if you do it like this, you just put a little bit of sugar together, and then you put it a little bit in there, and you would see how the bee will go inside. Thank you for being here and share with all of this in this little NOFA beehive that we had. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge. I really like to think about the cooperative work that you do. I have 3 beehives here, and I have volunteers that take care of it. I can never think of being like a bee person. Thank you. Hello, Finca Luno Bio over here. I'm thinking we were sharing about the knowledge. I work making native gardens here in New England, and one of the things that I focus is to make space for bees, for because everything is connected for bees, spaces for bees and butterflies, because everything is connected. I want to share with you what I do, and thank you for sharing everything that you do. Thank you. I'm grateful for you as well, everything that you do. And I also want to thank the team for make this possible. Without you, all this would not have been possible. I get very happy. You know. Thank you.
Thank you, Yorlis, so much. We're coming up on time and we'll wrap there. I just want to make a few announcements before we wrap up, and we'll be dropping links in the chat, so be sure to grab those before the Zoom closes. The first is that it's a great time to give us feedback about this session. So we'll be leaving a link in the chat with the evaluation. And then we've got some incredible items to bid in our online auction, and these proceeds will go to support our year-round programming and advocacy work. So if you could take a moment to take a look at the auction, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, so thank you again, Yorlis. This was fantastic. Such a wonderful way to explore bees and the impact that they have and the relationship that we have with them. We thank you. And thank you to all of our interpreters who made this possible, and for all of you who joined us today. We really appreciate your support. Bye, everyone.
Gracias, excelente.
Sí, pasen buenas tardes.
Gracias.
Bye.
Y al último bujido como abeja, adiós.
Adiós.
Adiós. Muchas gracias.